Motion and I have a special together that's out.
I know, and that's why.
Did you see it?
No, but I've been.
Since you're such a fan of both of ours, you should watch
you know
it.
what? It's so funny that you say something like that because the thing is that
He doesn't have Netflix on his iPad.
I don't have Netflix on my iPad, and also on top of it, it's like
He has Netflix on his iPad.
I have Netflix on my iPad, but my point
Okay,
is that,
by the way, I 100% do not expect you to watch my stand-up special.
No, but I'll tell you
will
the reason
never
why I
watch
won't.
yours. Why don't you have one?
that's the reason why.
Age-old question.
That's the reason why. Is because I'm such a lazy writer, and I hate my material, and on and on and on. That it's just one of those little things that plagues me.
Why don't you retire it on a special?
Yeah, and then you'd have to start over.
Yeah, but when I asked about it, they go, "Well, you want to do a 15-minute one?"
What?
Oh, the stand-ups.
Right, that one, and I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, they're doing these 15-minute ones,
15
It's like
minutes?
8 comics.
like 8 comics, like the guys you never heard of.
Oh,
Wait,
interesting.
Brett Morin.
Brett
was
Morin
on
did one.
that.
They're the only one I have heard of.
Well, Motion and I just did like 30 minutes each, which I thought was plenty.
Yeah, but it's being advertised a lot, even on their platform.
Yeah, it's the front.
It's if you go on
The honeymoon special.
Yeah, the honeymoon special. If you go on Instagram, I think they've advertised or other people have, and I see it a lot.
But what does that have to do with doing a 15-minute one?
Because after,
You should have your own,
Here-
obviously.
here's the thing, though, Natasha Leggero. Are you gonna change your last name?
Got so close for that.
No, I
Good.
think I'm
keep
past
it.
that.
Yeah, keep it.
Thank you.
I love it. But here's the thing: is that I've been doing it for so long, and I'm about to like just vent a little bit here. I'm going to vent a little bit. Okay. Is your past at the Comedy Store correct?
Of course.
Yeah, you are. You're a headliner.
Well, that's where we met too, because we would go there every Sunday. Like I'd say 15 years ago, we were there every Sunday. Not you. You already passed.
Yeah, but I would host the open mics sometimes.
And I would
stuff.
come every Sunday and
amazing.
wait for Mitzi, and she never came. And then
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
finally one day after 3 months of every single Sunday, she came.
Did she pass you?
She did, but it like took another. It was like a different way that she passed me. It wasn't from going. I think
Right.
she came in and was just like, "No one's passed," or something like that. you
Yeah.
know?
I remember one time sitting next to her, and I'm just talking to her, and they bring a comic. I don't hear because I'm talking to Mitzi, and then all of a sudden, a minute in, she just yells out, "Line him! He doesn't have it!" Right? And I look up on stage, it's Louis C.K. Now, I go, because he had an HBO special at the time. His first one, right? So I turn over, I go, he has an HBO special. I have a gun too. And if I had it, I'd kill myself. And he wasn't even, he did 1 minute and he left.
Oh my god.
That's how fucking, toward the end, she just didn't have her finger on the pulse, I don't think.
I definitely don't think she had her finger on the pulse, but I do think she like had a funny wisdom to her.
She did. All those things I said, all those little things.
Those are all from her?
From her.
Oh, really?
Like she used to say, you know.
Did you
is
used to
this-
hang out with her?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I used to go to, when I lived in San Diego, she used to drive down with Freddie Soto. And this is when Freddie Soto and I were very good friends. And he goes, "Hey, dude, we're going to Bully's, come," which at Steakhouse, which is right around, I don't think it's there anymore. And I used to eat steak with Mitzi. That's back then. And I was already passed, so it was kind of cool. But
Yeah, what kind of things did she tell you?
just the stuff that I've told you, you know what I mean, about like, you know, bombing and all that. I mean, you know, tidbits you get from, it is a sin to support mediocrity is her big one. You know, because...
But then she's like, "You should be called Johnny Bananas.
right. Jackie Graham.
You should wear a yellow suit and call yourself Johnny Banana."
Jackie Banana.
Or whatever.
Yeah. There was a guy named Jackie Graham. Have I told you? Have I talked
Yeah, you
about it?
told
Yeah,
us about
Jackie
that.
Graham, right? Jackie Graham.
Yeah.
Jackie Banana.
But I'm just saying the mediocrity thing is like,
Right.
but maybe it's whatever her vision is.
Your new name is John Campy to John Caparillo. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had to put his name on the list as John Campy
Campy.
for like 5 years.
Didn't
Oh,
she
he-
name Carlos Mencia?
She named Carlos Mencia.
Oh, wow. What was his name?
Ned Holness.
Ned what?
Ned Holness.
Wow.
Yeah, he's half German. People don't know that.
Wow.
His dad's white. And he's from
Interesting.
Honduras.
So she wanted him to like,
Exploit that. So she
Right.
was smart in that way.
Branding.
Jackson Purdue, she said, you gotta wear a purple turtleneck on stage.
And he did.
So this poor fucking guy during the summer had a purple turtleneck
That was his
on
name?
stage. Yeah, and he's like sweaty, like the sweat's just
Her
going to his neck.
vision is like a very specific 80s
yeah.
vision of what the pulse is.
Yeah, she like, you know what it is? And you know, back in the 80s, she goes, I have one Russian, right? Yaga, right?
Yeah.
I have a gay guy. Like she wanted
Meet the quota.
meet the
Avengers,
quotas. And
yeah.
in many ways, she's not wrong to do that. I think Adam, you know, the new guy, he still does it. He's like, one night said, Sherry Shepherd has to come tonight. I go, why? Because, you know, she's the only black person on the lineup. Which is, I'm glad he is thinking in that way. If it was like 15 white dudes,
I think it's it's very good to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
I think that everyone's starting to like wake up to that.
but Mitzi did it in the 80s. Like when I auditioned, she saw me and she passed me. She's like, oh, finally, like an American Asian guy who doesn't resort, you know, that kind of thing. You're like your own thing, you know, because before the gooks that they used to have were like ching-chongy gooks, like, you know,
Yeah.
they look like you.
Yes, thank you.
So you used to eat at a steakhouse with her? That sounds fun.
Yeah, but she doesn't tip, so we'd have to throw money on it. You know?
She just doesn't tip. She doesn't believe in it.
She doesn't tip, no.
Why?
I don't know.
She goes to a nice restaurant and doesn't tip even 15%?
We used to throw money onto the table. That's all I know.
Wow. I'm glad
mean,
you
she's-
lowered your voice for that.
Well, I know. She also passed away, so I feel a little guilty for saying that.
Oh, that's why you're lowering your voice.
Yeah. So if I say it like,
Flag is half
She won't.
staff.
She
yeah,
won't hear
half
it.
staff. Yeah, I'm half staffing it.
Yeah.
Maybe Polly won't hear it. You know.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say though is that back to my original point was that these Netflix specials and whatnot is that being playing that room and being a regular, that's not easy to do. I feel like, you know, when you're playing the rooms in the three rooms, improv, you know, Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, especially the Comedy Store, you have to be vetted. They don't throw just anyone up on stage. They have to be, you know, seen over the even sometimes years. And I feel like the industry, they just look at the whole thing. And I'm sure there are great comics that do what's that nerd place that they do it? Nerdist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they do, there's some
Meltdown?
what?
Meltdown?
That's what I'm saying, you know. There's some great, you know, coffee shop comics probably, you know, but what?
Nothing.
Well, they would probably rise to the...
No, but they use coffee shop comics in these things.
What things?
Like they get things ahead of me in terms of like.
Well, here's what's happening. It's becoming easier to make it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
You really
like,
think so?
Of course, because how many comedians do you know who've been at it for 4 years and they have their own show?
You're right.
It took people. It took like us, like 10 years at least.
Yeah.
And now it's like it just doesn't take 10 years
think
anymore. Because there's
Yeah.
so much. There's so many networks.
That's also the same thing with music. It's like it's really hard to be a massive universal star now because there's just so many ways to make it. There's so many just like independent.
you just have to have your
artists.
niche audience. Like this is a
Exactly.
very popular podcast, right?
Yeah.
And
it's
it's
very
like
specific.
it's
Very
very
specific,
specific,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you go
yeah.
on the road and they come see you.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
it's
right.
amazing. Yeah, and they're gonna love
great.
you. I'll tell you that right now. But I don't know how I
Not
feel.
if they love Beyonce.
But I don't know how I feel about that. Like in one way, I encourage it. Like when we collaborate with a lot of like YouTube people and stuff like that, and I love them. And I think they're great. We've had YouTube people on the show, right? Young people that have been catapulted.
Have you heard of this guy Cameron Dallas?
No.
He's a YouTuber, and he just went on a national world tour of a meet and greet because they don't have a skill.
He takes pictures
He just meets
and
them.
fills stadiums.
stadiums.
It's stadiums. Just
Yeah.
take pictures.
Oh my.
I mean, obviously, it's very young girls because
Yeah.
he's cute. But,
yeah.
But
He
yeah,
must
it's
make
like
a lot of money.
doesn't sing, doesn't do stand up.
But what does he do on YouTube then? Is he just like vlog his life?
selfies and like
Weird, like I guess videos, skateboarding videos. I don't really know. I don't spend a lot of time on.
A CA
his
called
YouTube.
me and said, "Hey, there's this company they need help from you." And I said, this is 5 years ago. I go, all right, what is it? They're like, did they just have they signed a bunch of Vine stars? And I go, okay. And they just want to have a meeting with you. There's good money in it for you. I didn't know what it was about. I showed up at this company.
Yeah.
And they had a catalog of people. They're all millions of hit. I don't know. I didn't do Vine, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And they go, hey, we want you to teach our guys how to do stand-up.
Oh, whoa.
Teach Vine.
I go, what? And then, yeah, because, we want to be able to generate income for them. And we think that live personal appearances would be, fruitful for. And I go, yeah, it's not something that you can just teach like that. It takes 10, 15 years. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
your agent should have like vetted
That, yeah, but
a little bit
I
better.
couldn't fucking believe it.
That's crazy.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
They just go to the. You think he sells out stadiums of people wanting a picture?
It's a lot of I think he does like skits from what I've seen.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I'll go on the road. I was at Schaumburg Improv. One show was like, one of my shows was like half full.